collapse it that way, fold this down. Okay, here's the way we look at the end of step 5. Actually, here's how we look at the end of step 5. Now step 6 is the crimp folds, where we're going to take this edge right here and we're going to put it right next to this crease right here. So this is the crease that will be created when that happens. And then the next part of it is to put a crimp fold along this crease. Now in order to do that, I usually like to fold the bill over like this to create the creases that then, again, you'll be creating this intermediate crease as you make this crimp fold. Okay, so this is how we look when we get at the end of step 6. Step 7 is the one that really is the difficult one because it doesn't really have a name for it, and it involves moving several layers at the same time. Now what I like to do in order to prepare for it is to open up the model and take these pieces inside the leg and fold those in half. Now this would naturally happen during the folding of the model, but it makes it easier and gives you a little bit of a guide as you do the next step. Okay, so we fold those pieces of the leg inside. So now we still have the beginning of step 7. Now what we're going to do is, now the instructions say fold top layer out while simultaneously folding under the inside layer. So this right here is the top layer that you pull out, and this right here is the bottom layer it's talking about. And what you're going to do basically is you're going to fold it along this crease that was formed when you folded these under like this. So the crease will be here, and this edge will line up with this edge right here. So you're basically folding this triangle in half. So you go like this, and that folds there, like that. So that's kind of the swivel that's happening, like that. And then just got to make sure everything's tucked in neatly, like that. So this forms what will become the tail. Okay, so that was step 7. Now step 8 is fairly straightforward, is a sink fold. And when you fold this to prepare yourself for the sink fold, try and get it so that it is along the same line as this tail. Now, preparing yourself for the sink fold is a little bit easier than actually doing the sink fold. And when I do the sink fold, it will come in and tuck, part of it will tuck to the one side of this layer. And that is difficult to do while it's there, so actually what I like to do is pop that open, and I'll fold that back under when the time comes. But now it's important when you do the sink fold that you make sure that you keep these pieces, these leg pieces, these will eventually be the legs, in tight. And these will be the kind of the shoulders of the pig. And so the way to do that is to slightly open the model, but keeping your fingers, your thumb on these pieces here to hold them in place, and then use your thumb to push these pieces down. Now I don't go all the way because then I have to go back and kind of define the creases that I made. Okay. It's a little messy in the interim, but if you can find those creases. Now once you get to this point, they'll hold together pretty well. So I usually take a bone folder or something and help smooth out. Now sometimes you will get a little bit straighter than others, but for demonstration purposes I think that's good enough. Smooth these out a little bit. Okay, now we need to fold this part back in, and you'll see what I mean by the sink fold coming in and extending beyond this piece. So when you put this piece back, swivel it back into place, it will lie. See how it's hitting it right there. So you just have to pick a direction and lay it on, in this case, on top of the sink fold flap. All right. So that is the end of step 8, the sink fold. Okay, so this is what we have at the beginning of step 9, where we are going to do a crimp fold here. We need to make a crease here, which I usually do by just folding it over like this, making sure that it's even here. But before I do this fold, again, I find it easier to open it up and fold these leg pieces in half, which gives me kind of a guideline of where the crease is going to be from here to here, which I've pre-creased already. But so on those creases, you fold that back, and then it will fold in. Now, as you just notice, it also goes on one side of this sink fold flap. So then when you close it, you now have what more or less looks like step 10. And then step 10 is pretty simple. I'm going to take this up like this, and this up like this. Now, the rest of this part is just shaping the head. Just a few more crimp folds, so I'm not going to concentrate on that. But the next really tricky move is 11B, which is inside reverse for tail and legs, which, if you didn't get this part correct, really becomes impossible, which is what happened the first time I did it. But at this point, all you're going to do is take this point, and when you inside reverse it, it's going to go to this point right here. So this is just going to go to there, and then you basically just close the model upon itself to look like that. And that's where you get the ending of 11B to make it look like 12. I usually wait till the end to do the little inside reverse fold on this part, wait till I get the tail done. Next part is we're going to inside reverse fold these particular pieces. So you can sort of prepare yourself, if you want, by folding back like that. That just kind of gets the paper creased in the right spot for it. And then one inside reverse fold, two inside reverse fold. Sharpen up those creases. Alright. And then from there, if you want, use making sure you can either pull this out, which requires that you hold the legs in so you don't pull out. So you can pull out the tail like this if you want, and then that's when you could do this if you wanted to, or you could wait a little bit. And then on this, the next part on this is to thin the tail. So basically what I do here is I do a little bit of an inside reverse fold. As I fold this in half, and then that brings this piece down a little bit like this. I do the same thing on the other side, folding the tail in half. Bringing this piece down a little bit. And then you can do this inside reverse fold now if you want, if you haven't done it earlier. But that helps you tuck it in right at the base of the tail. Of course, then you can curl like that, and then you have the back end of the pig, and then the